All right, greetings, everybody, and welcome to Your Retirement with Insurance 365. As you look at your radio, that's Angela Cradaville on the left here. Hi, Angela.
Hey, Jeffrey.
And Jay Kenobi from Insurance 365. Say hi, Jay.
Good morning, Jeffrey.
And your ugly host, Jeffrey Steffen, are here to guide you through another monthly program. We do this the third Saturday of each month here on News Talk WJG, where we talk about your retirement. Now, Jay, before we went on the air this morning, you came in here with an interesting observation on people during the pandemic.
Yes, when the pandemic hit last, we'll call it February, March, I remember sitting down in my office and thinking, I wonder how many people are going to come in now and address life insurance, because the scare was out there. I mean, it was real. People were talking about it, and it was obviously on people's minds as shutdowns happened, social distancing, and you know, whether it was the gyms closing or the grocery stores or anywhere, it was just the awareness to us was like, wow. And what I honestly thought would happen, Jeffrey, is life insurance companies would shut down. I thought people would be coming in left and right saying, hey, let's talk about this. No.
So here we are, all afraid of dying. That's what you're getting at, right?
Well, we are very afraid of what COVID, the end result, can do.
Sure.
And yes, we've changed our lifestyles. We even drive around in our cars by ourselves with a mask on now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen a few of those. I find that interesting. You know, I figure maybe the dog's in the back seat smoking, and that's their way around that. I don't know.
And so I find it, just interesting to note that people's anxiety and their focus and their fears are so real, like a time I've never seen before. I mean, I have been servicing and selling life insurance since I was a freshman at UNL.
Really?
That was back in 1991.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never seen the human behavior change so dramatically on a whole. Yeah. I mean, from age 20 to 80. Just changed.
Yeah, our lifestyle changed. And, you know, at the time when it started, we didn't really know what we were going to deal with for quite some time. I think maybe some of us thought we were going to be living in our basement for a full year. And I think there probably are a few people out there still living in their basement a year later. And I don't necessarily think it's necessary, but I'll just respect their feelings. But you're right. All of a sudden you start thinking about your mortality. Otherwise, generally speaking, when do people start thinking about their mortality? Is it around retirement age, Jay? Angela, you want to take that one?
I definitely think when people retire, they don't think of death, but the average age is females die at 82 and men are at 78.
Mm-hmm.
People start thinking about it when they have somebody close to home pass away.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Could I be next? So, yeah, there you go. So, Jay, maybe this is a wake-up call to take a look at where you're at with life insurance. First of all, do you have any? And then if you do, what are you carrying? What does it look like? And where is it going to take you for the rest of your life?
Yeah, the most common behavior that I see is people get the notice in the mail and they send it off and they just hope, Jeffrey, they hope everything's right.
We use that term a lot, hope, when it comes to retirement. We've been talking about that a lot the last couple of months. Most people just hope that when they are ready to retire that they're going to have enough money there.
Yeah. And I think people need to really analyze, you know, you're getting this notice on premium. Maybe you're getting the annual statement that shows your policy you've had for 20, 30, 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
My always question is, why wouldn't you want to sit down and just discuss it? Am I going to replace something that you bought 30 years ago? No. I mean,
yeah.
your cost of insurance was 30 years before, so your mortality was 30. There's nothing to replace, but to understand it. And I'm always amazed when I talk to people, the simple behavior is you'll start talking to them, and they'll say, well, I'm going to go talk to my guy. And I'm like, okay, I created a little doubt. I said, do you have term or whole life? And that created doubt. Well, that scares me right there.
Yeah.
If you're not understanding the difference between term and GUL and whole life and variable life, if you're not understanding that, and I'm creating that much doubt, that's not good.
Yeah.
You should be very certain on your life insurance, what you have and what it's doing for you. When you reach above the age of 55, 60, you really need to start saying, I understand this product that I'm paying on and will continue to pay on and have invested money into. It's time to take that product serious and understand it. And I never understand why people don't just, I know what it is. They fear going to a salesperson. They fear going into Angela and
Right.
Jay's office. I love just putting it together for them, writing it on a Microsoft Word document and saying, here's what you have.
Yeah.
This is good.
Take a look
and,
at
and,
it.
And there's nothing to change. It's just you need to know what you have, because a lot of times people are under the impression it's something it's not.
But also, maybe it's that they think it's too late to buy life insurance. You know, oh, I'm in my upper 50s or I'm 60 years old. Imagine what that's going to cost me now.
Yes, that's something to be aware of. The cost is obviously different at 30 than it is at 50 or 60.
Sure.
But Jeffrey, the reason you're buying life insurance at 30, 40 is because to provide for those people who are dependent upon you financially, a child, a spouse.
Mm-hmm.
You change your objective of life insurance when you hit the kids out of the house, the mortgage paid,
Yeah.
changes. And I'll have people say, well, I don't need life insurance. This guy told me I don't need any. Well, I disagree with that. I don't argue with people about it, but
Yeah, the kids are
I'll
left
say,
to-
well, maybe think about this perspective of value on it. Instead of saying you just need none,
Right.
let's maybe look at it from this perspective and give some insight.
You don't want to leave a load behind for your kids. Burying you, funeral expenses, all of that stuff. That's all things to think about. So, we've talked about life insurance, the need for life insurance. There are other reasons why you might want to have some life insurance as well.
Yeah, there might be some people in your life that have been somebody you care about and you want to see good for them. So we have one guy who actually has 22 beneficiaries. He decided he wanted to make an impact on all of his nieces, nephews, great nephews.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Nobody thinks like that.
Right.
Not many people think like that. So when you talk about, okay, why should I carry life insurance? That's a great reason to carry life insurance. You can do a lot of good with it, and that can be a legacy that you leave behind.
Yeah, favorite people, just think in your own life, Jeffrey. Go back, and we all have had mentors, maybe from a business standpoint. Maybe we've had that neighbor that just was always the great neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we have friends, people that you say, hey, I reffed high school basketball with, or I hung out with and had some beverages with, or that guy was just always there for me, and maybe he was a high school classmate that I stayed in touch with. People, I have to kind of realize, like, here's your opportunity to leave those people something of value to show you appreciated their wisdom, their friendship, their love, something.
Yeah.
Because them showing up at your funeral just kind of showed you they loved you.
Yeah.
You didn't really.
Funerals are for the living. They're not for the dead. They're not. But you're right. It's just it's a really solid way of saying thank you. And I can't imagine, what the look on somebody's face would be if all of a sudden you just get this check out of the blue from somebody that maybe you haven't seen for years and years and years. Like you said, maybe it was a teacher or a coach who impacted your life years ago, and you don't even know where they're at, or have lost touch with them, and then all of a sudden, bang! There's this check in the mail.
Absolutely. I mean, I can't wait for my check from Joe Jaden.
Yeah, good luck on that.
You too, Jeffrey, right?
I think, we're both going to be in the grave long before that ever happens. Yeah, but people. We also talk about places or causes too that you have in your life.
Yeah, the places. You think of when I say places, what I think of is just maybe you've had family vacations in certain spots like Ponca State Park or Mahoney State Park,
Yeah.
and you know those places. It takes money to keep those up.
Sure does.
And you think of, we've had a lot of people give to places like that. Mm-hmm. Maybe a senior center You know, maybe a school.
Yeah.
You go back to a school and say, you know what, my wife and I did a good job, but thanks to that school, I think we raised great kids.
Right.
There was some foundation. There was some character. There was some academics that were there that just really paramounted my kids into better people. Maybe there's monuments, city parks, just things in general in places that you say they need the money,
Right.
and I can leave them tax-free dollars to make that place continue to go on, maybe make it even a little better. Some people like their name etched in stone at places, whatever. It's all up to you.
Yeah.
But when you leave this earth and you look back, were there places that you say, wow, that was really part of my 85 years in life, or that was a part of my 60 years in life?
A favorite place.
A favorite place.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so you can do that. So, all of a sudden, this could get really, really fun. So we'll take our first break here, and then when we come back, we'll talk a little bit about maybe making out that list. We've already mentioned a few of those. But again, we're talking about life insurance. Why are you not reviewing your life insurance plans right now? Everybody's afraid of dying right now in the pandemic. Now more than ever, it makes you realize your mortality. So let's deal with that, and let's deal with that in a concrete way. And we're going to do that when we come back. It is Your Retirement with Insurance 365 with Angela Cradaville and Jay Kenobi. I'm Jeffrey Steffen. We're back with more after this. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is the March rendition of Your Retirement with Insurance 365. Angela Cradaville is with us, and Jay Kenobi, and we're talking about your retirement as we do every month here, but we're also talking about your life insurance setup. What we've been through here the past year with COVID really made a lot of us think about our mortality. Jay used the example earlier of watching people drive around in their cars with their masks on. What are they afraid of? Well, they're afraid of dying. So if you're afraid of dying, let's get things in order, like life insurance. So what is your life insurance situation? It might be something that you thought you took care of 30 years ago, and you don't have to worry about it until that time comes. Well, you never know when that time might come. So we're actually kind of having a little fun with this because they've made some great suggestions on what you can do with your life insurance. We'll talk a little bit about the types of life insurance, but before we even get to that conversation, Jay, something you brought up during the break is wills. Are you ever shocked by the number of people who don't have their wills done, or if they do, they haven't updated them for like 40 years?
I've been doing this so long, I don't have shock anymore. It's
yeah,
a
probably
reality.
not. Probably not.
It's a reality. Yeah, people just... I'm going to a sale in a couple weeks where a single guy, farmer, never had a will.
Oh, my word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And died a not quick death. Still didn't have a will.
Yeah. What a mess that leaves behind for the people who have to deal with that. And that's one thing that you just never want to do. But like you say, you can get a will done pretty cheaply. That's not a whole lot of money.
Oh, absolutely. We can refer you to some attorneys, and any attorney can help you. And it's very affordable. And it's just a document that says, here's my instructions.
Yeah.
And it's so helpful for the people left behind. So helpful.
So life insurance, Angela, we were talking about this as we went into the break, and some of the things that you can do with your life insurance. So let's use this gentleman as an example. Single, maybe doesn't have a whole lot of close family around him. You can still have a lot of fun with life insurance.
Sure.
After we're gone. Hopefully we're going to be somewhere where we can watch all this happen, I hope, huh?
Right. You can definitely make a big impact. Say, 4-H hit home to you when you were a kid, or if your kids went through 4-H, you could give a little to the club, and that would make a huge difference to them. Boy Scouts, Lions Club. Say your parents passed away of cancer or Alzheimer's. There's research programs out there that you could donate to.
Yeah.
Your proceeds could go to.
Sure. I would go as local as possible, because that way I think your money has a better chance of actually going to a place where it's going to do a lot of good. There's always your church. Like you said, we talked about your school, whether public or private. That's a great way to make an impact. So let's break this down. Let's start talking about some amounts. Jay, you used an example here before we came on today about a $100,000 term to death policy. Why don't you explain that, first of all, term to death, a term to death policy?
Term to death means that the company issues you a policy with a premium, and it goes consistent till death.
Okay.
So people struggle with that. They really can't get their mind around that. We're saying we're going to give you a premium, and it's going to stay the same, and the death benefit is going to stay the same till you die.
Yeah.
And because most insurance, car insurance, home insurance, long-term care, whatever, continues to go up.
Yes.
And sometimes even the value goes down as the policy goes up. Mm-hmm. There's policies term to death. So you don't have that variable of, I think my policy lasts so long, or I hope my policy, there's the word hope again.
Yeah.
Hope my policy lasts so long. You buy it from a professional who understands contracts. Mm-hmm. That's what you have to do. You can't just buy it from the guy who, you have to buy it from professionals who understand how these contracts work. Not everybody has them. Mm-hmm. So you just don't call your guy and he's going to say, oh, yeah, I got one of those. No, they don't.
So let's use the example that you brought along here, too, because we've already talked about this a little bit about maybe not buying a life insurance or not having the proper life insurance, and you realize this and you're, in your late 50s, let's say 60 years old, just to keep the math nice and round for us.
Okay.
60-year-old female and don't have any life insurance, or discovered that maybe I don't have the right kind of a life insurance and I still want to make an impact with the years that I have left. So if you're a female, 60 years of age, Angela, you told us earlier, you're probably looking at another 20 to 22 years of life on average.
Right.
So what could I do with a $100,000 life insurance policy?
So like a 60-year-old female, the premium would be around $137 a month.
A month, okay.
Okay. That gives you a death benefit of $100,000.
All right.
That is tax-free money to anybody that it goes to. So if you decide you want it to your brother, your 3 children, your church, you can do a percentage-wise of how much money you want each person or entity to get. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we got $137 a month. If this person lives to 85, you give in the company $41,100.
Yes.
That's your premium.
Yes.
But the people will get back, meaning your beneficiaries, will get back $100,000 tax-free money back to you. That's the main.
Jay, you got any mutual funds that could pay off on that?
With guarantees? No. Any bank products that are going to get a return of double guaranteed?
Yeah. Right.
No. And one thing you have to remember about life insurance, people get so edgy with it. If the tax code allows you to leverage, Jeffrey, then do it. That's the word I use. Leverage.
Yeah.
You have your mutual funds, you have your bank accounts, you have your land, you have your house. But if you're sitting at home and saying, you know what, at the end of the month, I do have a little extra money. I've got $150 extra a month.
Right.
If you have $150 extra a month, you go out and buy $100,000 and you want a local charity to get some support, or a local cause, or maybe let them, close friends or mentors next to you, have a little extra. Why not leverage it? Why keep putting it into something that's going to draw 1%?
Yeah.
Or keep putting into risk things when you can literally say, tomorrow, if something happens to me, my $137 created $100,000. The only way you can lose is if you live to 121.
Yeah, we figured that out, 121. And I would be the guy to do that, I'd die at 122 years old. And, there's nothing left, sorry. Or I didn't get much back on that.
I didn't get much back. I got
I'm
a
gone,
zero return.
At that point, I'm gone anyway. I really don't care about the return, but, somebody's still going to get that 100,000. On the other hand, though, if you die before that, even more.
Jeffrey, if you live to 121, the friends that you had, the beneficiaries, they're gone.
They are gone. That's true. I have to leave it to my great-great-great-grandchildren.
But yes, tax-free. Where else can you find an investment vehicle tax-free? And you talk about taxes right now. That's a hot topic. We're hearing all kinds of theories on taxes. This is the one product yet. You can't leave your CDs to them tax-free. They go through probate.
Yeah.
You can't leave your money to people. Mm-hmm. And this is the way everything's taxed. Life insurance is not taxed, and you're not giving more than they're getting. That's the imbalance that people. But when you talk about life insurance with people, they just get a little, I don't know if it's sensitive or just a little afraid.
Yeah.
Leverage the dollars you have to create more tax-free is really the reality of the theory you have to learn to embrace.
Yeah. So why don't we let's walk some folks through this. Cash value, what you can do with cash value, term through work or term personal. How long does that term go? All of these things here, because I think, this is just my own personal opinion, people don't like to talk about insurance because most people don't understand insurance. And so they feel like if they go talk to that sales guy or that sales girl, they're at a disadvantage. And that's what makes them uncomfortable about this.
I know. And that's a challenge that our industry, the people on this side of the desk, have not embraced, because I worked with a couple last week. I'll tell you, this is a classic example of what goes wrong. Jay, you referred to us, so I show up. Their annual premiums on their life insurance was $50,000. They had 17 policies, and they're in their lower 70s.
Oh, my word.
I said, do you know how many agents just got a trip to Hawaii off of you?
Off of you, yeah.
I mean, this is ridiculous. $50,000
a year to insurance premiums.
Now, what is the point of having that much cash value and life insurance? And my simple question, why do you have life insurance? We're not really sure. We have 17 policies.
Yeah.
So my point is, our industry, this side of the desk, has done a not so fabulous job,
right,
of allowing people to feel comfortable. You have to feel comfortable, not picked on, not told you've done anything wrong. I don't ever tell people you did anything wrong. I'll say, well, here's a suggestion you might want to consider.
Yeah. Here's where you're at. Maybe this is where you'd like to be, and here's how we can get you there.
Yeah, and so it is intimidating to bring in a policy from 12 years ago or 20 years ago, or to admit, hey, I've never had life insurance. I mean, they're kind of embarrassed, like, I've just never had it, Jay.
Yeah.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. But Angela and I sit down with you, and we talk about what is the point, what is the purpose, what is the objective, and then let's look at the numbers and see where we can leverage today's products to make your money double or triple. And it's simple. You can do it a lot of different ways, but you have to work with professional people who understand the different ways. Sometimes it's just taking a lump sum of money that's not getting you much at your local bank,
yeah,
and say, you know what, can you double this?
Right. If you got it laying around anyway.
Yeah. Sometimes it's a monthly payment. Sometimes it's an annual payment. Sometimes people say, I want to pay for 4 or 5 years. Some people inherited money and they say, I'd like to take this inherited money and double it. Can I get, is there a guarantee on that?
Right.
For my kids, because I inherited this from my mom. Now it's to my generation. I'd like to forward it on to my kids, but I want to make sure it doubles.
Yeah.
And I want to give it to them tax-free. There's a million things a person can do. You have to have that. You have to schedule that conversation.
Yeah. And, from a psychological standpoint, maybe we don't talk about this too, but when you do finally go in and have that conversation and you get that worked out, all of a sudden you feel a little bit more empowered. You feel like you're in better control of your life, and you have fewer questions out there, and that's really, really what you want. And then when the kids start asking you some tough questions about that, and you sit down and start having conversations with your family, okay, here's what I've got, and go talk to Jay or Angela, and they'll explain everything to you. And then you'll be able to find things. So this is Your Retirement with Insurance 365. So there you go. Some great advice today on life insurance. What is your situation? Go have the conversation. You can call anybody, but I would recommend that you call these two first here at Insurance 365. They're right down there on South 13th Street. Angela, what's the address?
It is 711 South 13th Street.
You can give them a call at
402-371-3136.
And you can find them online at
insuranceagency365.com.
There you go, guys. Thanks again, Jay. Appreciate it.
Thank you for your time.
And Angela, this is Your Retirement with Insurance 365. We're back the third Saturday in April on News Talk WJAG.